Patrick, so you tell us a little bit. Your art is different. It's not just glitch art. I think it's like there's a lot of aspects to it. But we were talking about how you love the chaos and certain things. What speaks to you about all these like sort of moments and that I notice that you talk about? And
Yeah, thanks. I don't know. I'm kind of interested in like the role art can play in telling narratives about different things. And I think it's interesting when art is reflective and critical of, kind of our shared experience. That's always the art I've been drawn to. I've always been drawn to I always go back to like Banksy. I know he's a lot of people's favorites, but I always like when he does something, he's like poking something. Like he did this series in the Gaza Strip, almost a decade ago now.
yeah,
Phenomenal work, like just doing a lot of work with the walls there and, kind of the situation. I thought that was really interesting. And that was one thing that really pivoted kind of how I approached my practice. So when I started, most people that get into art, it's like, cool, I can make something abstract look all right. And you like go down the abstract rabbit hole. And so I started doing that, but at the same time, I was always interested in a lot of the political events. So I was doing glitches around like the beginnings of the Syrian civil war. I was doing them around the Ferguson protests. I was doing them around when Nemtsov was killed in Russia. So I was always interested in those, but they're always separate. So it was like I do the art over here, I do the political stuff over here, but they never intersected until I had a conversation with Jerry Saltz in 2016. I was like, like we'd gotten to know each other on Twitter, and it was like, okay, like, what do you think about what I'm doing? And he looked at my work and he's like, okay. He's like, pure zombie formalism. Start over.
Ooh.
I was like, okay, interesting. And I like let it digest a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what he was saying to me was that you basically like abstract because, I came up with art history background. Yeah, my teachers loved abstract. They loved Rothko. They loved Richter. They loved all of the people that we all know. And then they shared that love with me. And then when I got into making art, that was what I loved. That was like, so it was like they taught me that. That was kind of the formalist part of it. But he was also saying like, the art world has moved past abstract work. That was like popular up until about the 70s. And then now contemporary art world is not abstract anymore. Now the contemporary world has moved on to other things. So he's like, it's kept alive by a bunch of people continuing to make it, even though it's effectively dead as art.
and you felt that helped you a lot when he gave you that.
Yeah, he gave me the tip. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like
And
it's a big criticism, but I knew it was right. And I feel like I feel grateful that I was able to like listen to what he was saying and make a change. And it was helpful to me because I stepped back and I was like, how do I actually like implement this in my practice? And I looked at it, I was like, well, I'm doing all this political stuff that I really like, that has a real narrative that I care about. And I'm doing this art over here, which has no narrative. It's just, I think it looks cool. And then at that point, I started merging the two. I was like, okay, well, now on, I'm just like, I'm going to do stuff that I actually care about and make art about that. And then from then on, it was like, it all started clicking a lot more.